warm welcome to Stephen Downey.
PSA, meet Nigel. Nigel, meet PSA. Don't worry, he only really took... I have practiced this part, Nigel. Despite his big smile, Nigel's not a very nice... You're not. He's always interrupting me and second-guessing everything I do. I used to be very intimidated by him, but to be honest, I've learned to separate myself from what Nigel says. Actually, talk about separation. I'm going to leave Nigel over here because if I don't, he's going to get too loud. Have you ever had an overwhelming inner voice like Nigel? Second-guessing everything you say. It can make life quite difficult, especially if your career depends on your ability to concentrate and make clear decisions. For over 20 years, I've worked as a computer programmer, creating complex software applications for my clients. It's an industry where software is created using known patterns and logic. When we follow the pattern, we can predict the outcome. But what happens when your mind starts playing a different pattern and you can't predict the outcome? I want to take you back to what started out as a normal day in October 2013, about 10 years ago. The reason I'm taking you back here, because this is the day I started the morning working in a client's office, but I spent the afternoon in the local emergency room of a hospital. I wasn't feeling great a few days before it, but this morning I decided to go home. But I collapsed as I left the office. My voice was all slurred and I was convinced I was having a stroke. An ambulance was called and I was rushed to hospital. The reality of the situation is I wasn't having a stroke. What the doctor told me that day is that I was having a severe panic attack brought on by stress. I had let the stress build up so much inside my physical body that it said enough. I let the stress build up so much that it just said enough. I thought I was alone. At the time, I wouldn't tell people how I felt because I thought I was unique. But unfortunately, I'm not. A Deloitte workplace study found out that 77% of people experience burnout at some point in their career. I'm going to say that number again, 77%. That's not a number that anybody here should feel comfortable with, and neither did I. We had all the tools to create the software and follow those patterns, but we didn't have tools to deal with this one. So I did what I do best. I studied, I observed, and I followed the pattern to create a new program. And over the last 10 years, I've created a program that we can follow every day, and I call it the Mindful Living Guide. And it all starts with awareness. You see, when we're getting burnt out, most of us don't even realize. We start falling behind, so we work, we fall harder behind, and we work harder. Awareness allows us to catch those signals early. In my case, I wanted to find out when those negative thought patterns were starting. So that's where Nigel comes in. And it's something simple that anyone in this room could implement if you have overwhelming thoughts or self-sabotage. By bringing awareness to that thought pattern, we can recognize the signals early. And we can do something about it. By interrupting the pattern, we can respond. We can interrupt it, but without judgment. See, I've come to accept that Nigel's always going to be part of my life, criticizing me and probably cost me a PSA membership as well. But these are things that we can bring into our life. And if you experience this overwhelming voice and it's just getting louder and louder and louder, I ask you just to ask yourself, Is that really you? Or is that just a Nigel getting louder? It's what keeps Nigel quiet in the corner right through this speech. Thank you.